Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakwadash. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and there's no God beside them. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and salutations to the elect, whom the Lord have given ears to hear. Now I wanted to get into a few articles in the news, right? Real quick, Salaki, 1 second. So this just came out yesterday, where it says the Pentagon sending a few thousand personnel to Middle East day after Biden said he wouldn't add combat troops. The Pentagon announced on Monday that it's sending a few thousand U.S. personnel to the Middle East to support Air Force squadrons a day after President Biden vowed not to send combat troops to the region. Speaking at a press gaggle with reporters on Monday, Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh said the U.S. was sending a few thousand more troops to the Middle East to bolster security and to defend Israel, if needed. And this is all biblical. We're living in biblical times. The Lord tells us that the least of the flock, according to Jeremiah 49:20, shall draw them out. The only reason the U.S. will have to be in this Middle Eastern war is to defend Israel. This is Biden gave a firm no when asked Sunday if he planned to deploy additional combat troops to the Middle East. And this goes to show you that you can never trust your enemies. This increased presence is to include multiple warplane squadrons complementing the F-15s, F-16s, A-10s, and F-22s already stationed in the region. Then it says Israel will launch limited ground invasion in Lebanon imminently, U.S. official says. The planes were initially supposed to rotate and then replace the squadron stations there. Instead, both the current and new squadrons are to remain in place to double the available air power because of increased tensions in the region and concern that Iran might respond to Israel's killing of Hezbollah's leader last week in Lebanon. Singh said Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has increased the readiness of additional U.S. forces to deploy, elevating our preparedness to respond to various contingencies. And the Department of Defense maintains robust and integrated air defense capabilities across the Middle East, ensuring the protection of U.S. forces operating in the region. May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai continue to cast off from us the Northern Army. Because that's essentially what the Lord is doing. He's casting off, all right? He's casting off the defense of America. preparing them for the war known as in the scriptures, or preparing them for Armageddon. All right. In the scriptures, it speaks in various precepts. I can grab one actually. Because we're in the stages of mustering the armies. Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. All right, and the banner that we're lifting up is the truth of the Lord. Pretty much, at the same time, telling this devil to let us go. And because he won't let us go, the Lord is going to come back and redeem us. The Lord is going to come back and redeem us after that he have destroyed our enemies in the valley of Jehoshaphat. And for those who don't know, the valley of Jehoshaphat, or God's judgment, is going to take place in the region of Saudi Arabia. All right, in the Arabian Peninsula. Shake the hand meaning to rebuke, to tell off, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. All right, so this word, us being out there in the highways and hedges, all right, is in the ears of the high ones, the elites. I've commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from my anger, even them that rejoiced in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of kingdoms of nations, gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So the Lord Yahweh, all right, the Lord of armies, is putting it in these kings' minds to meet up in a specific place. All right, now America is already sending more and more troops because they feel like they have to back Israel from Iran. All right, and we know that Iran is backed by Russia, so eventually they're gonna have to get up in there. And then Russia has pacts, as we see, they're building ties with these other nations like China. Right, so it's gonna get real interesting over these next months. All right, it's gonna build up. We know it's not going to come to an all-out nuclear war just yet, because that RFID hasn't been forced upon the people yet, which is the mark of the beast, if you haven't known. It says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. So the gathering of the nations is the day of the Lord. The gathering of all nations, all right, to where the fighting gets so heated that they send off the weapons of the Lord's indignation, those missiles. That's the day of the Lord. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. All right. And, you know, the average person might see this and it's like, oh, it'll die down. It'll die down. It's not going to die down. Okay? It's not going to die down. It's actually going to exacerbate, obviously, as we just read, into all-out nuclear war. But it's going to affect you as far as the economy is concerned, because wars are very expensive. And you know, as I was reading this article, I was talking to a brother about it. You know, when you look at what's going on in the earth, right, which that article I just read to you, brothers, was yesterday. this comes out today, where it says Iran launched a ballistic missile attack targeting Israel on Tuesday as tensions between the two longtime foes ratchet up in the Middle East. The Israel Defense Forces said on Telegram that missiles were launched from Iran towards the state of Israel and ordered Israeli civilians to obey air raid sirens and shelter in place. The IDF is doing and will do everything necessary to protect the civilians of the state of Israel. Right? And these, let me just stick to the script. Iran's volleys of missiles against Israel represent the latest and starkest escalation in tensions in the region. The U.S. and others have worried that Israel's military operations in Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza Strip over the last several months could plunge the region into a wider war and drag the West directly into another major Middle Eastern conflict. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Real quick, I wanted to make a point also where it says the Israel Defense Forces said on Telegram that missiles were launched from Iran towards the state of Israel and ordered Israeli civilians to obey air raid sirens and shelter in place. The IDF, I wonder what the IDF is. Okay. It's for the Israel Defense Ministry. Okay, yeah, so it's the U.S. and others have worried that Israel's military operations in Lebanon, Syria, and the Gaza Strip over the last several months could plunge the region into a wide war and drag the West directly into another major Middle Eastern conflict. The strike comes just a day after Israel launched a limited military operation into neighboring Lebanon against the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group. And it follows a series of Israeli strikes against Hezbollah and Hamas, another one of Iran's regional proxies, including assassinations of top commanders. On Friday, Israel conducted an airstrike in Beirut, Lebanon's capital, that killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. And in August, Israeli intelligence killed Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, while the group's leader was in Tehran for the inauguration of the country's new president, Mossad Pezeshkian. It says Iran's mission to the United Nations in New York wrote that Iran's legal, rational, and legitimate response to the terrorist acts of the Zionist regime, which involved targeting Iran's nationals and interests and infringing upon the national sovereignty of the Islamic Republic of Iran, has been duly carried out. Iran fired nearly 200 missiles at Israel, according to the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. It was not clear, Jake Sullivan at a Tuesday White House briefing after the attacks, it was not clear if any of them successfully hit their targets, and there were not immediate reports of Israeli casualties. So I mean, it's a justified get back, so to speak. As what is it, since the year of 20, since Trump been in office, they've been knocking off a lot of the top officials. So it's only right that they get their get back. Nevertheless, America, which again is prophecy. We have to keep pushing that is prophecy. that they feel the need to back Israel, because the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, Jeremiah 49:20, Joel 2:20, how the Lord will draw off from us the northern army. All right, whereas America is known as the land of the north. So it says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, and his face toward the east sea, right, which is the Mediterranean Sea, and its hinder is it I'm sorry, I always get those mixed up. Right, the east sea is the Mediterranean, and the hindermost is the Red Sea. And his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his things shall come up, and his ill savor shall come, because he have done great things. Right? So these are various clues showing you how the Lord is putting this devil in a trick bag, and ultimately he's going to destroy him. Therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Now Edom and Teman today will represent America. Surely the least of the flock shall draw him out. So you have Edom, Teman, Babylon, virgin daughter of Babylon. Those are all code words for America. As a matter of fact, let me see. Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. So this shows you that, if the topic is Edom, why would they call it the daughter of Babylon? Because Edom and the daughter of Babylon is one and the same, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Right? So we go back to Jeremiah 49:20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock right, which that word least meaning little, insignificant, young. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Right? And they're the lowest among the low. Them Amalekites. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate. Right? So the least of the flock shall draw them out of their nest, so to speak. So drawn from their homeland over there. And as this war ramps up, there will be more and more troops that's going to be sent over there, bringing the draft. Surely he shall make the habitation desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. Because again, their fall is synonymous with World War III. World War III will bring nuclear missiles, which according to Isaiah 24, is what will make the earth shake to and fro. Remember, according to Joel, chapter 2, is where it speaks on how the missiles, when they coming forth, is as horses running. And when horses running, it causes the earth to shake. Okay? At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. You see? So this is speaking on, again, the downfall, which again goes into Joel 2, All right, proving that this is all one and the same prophecy. All the prophets seen the downfall of Edom, which Edom, for those who hadn't known, would be written of in the scriptures as the last ruler before Israel were to take charge. Starting off, of course, with Yahushua. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle. Right, and this is speaking on Yahushua, because he would take down these devils swiftly and spread his wings over Basra. At that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the hearts of a woman in her pangs. All right, and according to 2nd Ezra 13, Salakia. Right, so here in my notes, it says, so the one I will fly over her as the eagle is Yahushua. Remember in 2nd Ezra 13 how they would be afraid, yet there's flight. As the eagle flieth, meaning that the Lord is going to take this devil out fast. Zephaniah 1 and 14 through 18, Revelation 18 and 10. Spreading his wings, meaning coming with the angels, Revelations 1 and 7, Isaiah 31 and 5. All right, so you check those precepts out. All right, but we see prophecy coming to a head. It says Israel's, man, we get more excited. As we get closer, it's more exciting, because we have nothing here, man. And again, the more these wars ramp up, the harder all of our lives is going to get, the more expensive things are going to get. This is adding to the port strike, which makes things a lot more expensive. You have the port strike, you have the war in the Middle East, which that's actually hurting the oil industry. I know it has to be because, these it's very costly and very dangerous for now these oil, rigs, to travel these various straits. And now there's another article I wanted to grab. So it says Hurricane Kirk will spark deadly warning to states hit hardest by Helene. All right, so it says Tropical Storm Kirk, expected to strengthen into a major hurricane later this week, will spark a deadly warning for the U.S. eastern seaboard only a week after Hurricane Helene ravaged several states. Helene made landfall last Thursday as a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of around 140 miles per hour near Perry, Florida, and the state's Big Bend region. It says the storm brought fatalities across several southern and southeastern states, with storm surge, devastating winds, and torrential rain that threatened several dams and inundated Asheville, North California with floodwaters. More than 100 people were killed by the storm, the Associated Press reported. Tropical Storm Kirk formed on Monday in the Atlantic Ocean. As of Monday afternoon, Kirk had maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. Over the next few days, the National Hurricane Center anticipated Kirk becoming a very strong major hurricane. Spaghetti or computer models illustrating potential storm paths show Kirk remaining at sea or curving northeast to trek toward Europe. However, deadly swells generated by the storm will travel hundreds of miles to impact the East Coast, where many states are still recovering from Helene. It's definitely going to send a swell to the East Coast of the United States. Warning, says National Weather Service's warning coordination meteorologist Will Ulrich today. Ulrich said deadly rip currents could impact the eastern seaboard as early as Sunday. Warnings related to the rip currents could be issued as soon as this Wednesday, a day or so before the expected condition. Right? And the Lord is visiting the earth, as is written of in Isaiah 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake, with noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. That's how the Lord gets down. When we read in the account where the people did not want to speak to Moses, to the Lord through Moses, but they wanted to speak to the Lord directly. The Lord had, all these various things happen: earthquakes, storm, tempest. So the Lord is showing himself. The Lord is revealed through these prophecies, right? At the end of the day, the people are going to see that the Lord, Yahweh, when you see Lord in all caps, all right, that means Yahweh. The Lord is revealed. The Lord is a terrible power, right? After it's all said and done, the people's going to remember Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's our job. That's why we do these lessons. That's why we go on the highways and hedges. To tell the people, look, he's coming. Get it together. Right? And it's important. It's important for us to keep watch. As the prophet Habakkuk said, I will stand upon the tower and keep watch, and will watch to see what he will answer. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. All right. And again, he speaks through action. Right? Psalms 9:16 says the Lord is known by the works in which he performs. Roughly paraphrasing. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the works of his own hands. So the judgment that the Lord executeth comes by way, or will come from the works of the wicked. Habakkuk 2 verse 1 again. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. So the Lord again is speaking through these actions, through these various storms, these various wars, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Okay. And through the understanding of this word, through the Rakak Wadas, the spirit of Yahushai, we see very well what the Lord is doing on the earth. We see very well what the Lord is doing on the earth. Hey, and another thing, before I end it out, all praises to Yahushai. You see what Yahushai did is he broke it down very plainly, the works of Yahweh. Right? As a matter of fact, his life was a personification, if you will, or was an example of the works of the Lord. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. With that, shalom to the elect.